ISIS places a tax on whatever it deems to be of value. It forces the people within its territory to pay these taxes through extortion, which is the use of violence and sometimes death. Taxation and extortion were ISIS's largest source of income in 2014, amounting to $600 million in revenue. ISIS also just outright robs people of their possessions if they feel it is of value to them, and they seize money from territories they conquer. ISIS kidnaps people and holds them for ransom, usually kidnapping people from wealthy organizations from the Western world. ISIS has made as much as $20 million from kidnapping, according to the U.S. Drugs come with the territory for criminal organizations, and ISIS does use drugs as one of their assets, but it is unclear how much money they make off of it. Although world powers have put sanctions on ISIS to prevent them from selling oil, the group still manages to smuggle oil for profit. In 2014, ISIS was making between $1 to $2 million a day off of oil. ISIS uses other creative methods to help fill reserves. One of these methods it uses is its use of social media, using apps like Kik and WhatsApp to covert money drop-offs from their supporters.
The group relies heavily on illegal activities to gain funds and power. It has also received donations from Gulf states such as Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and Qatar. By 2006, it was already fundraising $70 million to $200 million a year in criminal activities. The assessment highlighted oil smuggling, kidnapping, and ransom and political corruption as the most significant and pro-table activities. We asked the question, why would U.S. allies fund terrorism? It's a valid question. These countries wanted to see a group that was anti-Iran succeed. Gulf states also supported groups like Syria's Al-Qaeda and ISIS because they wanted to protect the marginalized Sunni population from Assad's regime. Thus, ISIS got its early funding from states, but would eventually exhibit quite an entrepreneurial spirit in terms of financing as it continued to grow. This is not to say that ISIS should be praised, but that is quite economically savvy in many of its eventual methods of gaining funding. In essence, ISIS is relatively self-sufficient. Therefore, while extremism and religious fundamentalism was what drives ISIS, it also understands the importance of resources and energy. Likewise, ISIS has taken over a number of oil fields in Syria and recently seized Iraq's largest dam. This is a huge gain for ISIS, as it will have more control over water and power resources and access to a river that runs through Baghdad. ISIS might be a terrorist organization, but has established a de facto state that behaves very much like many recognized states around the world. It collects taxes and sells electricity and oil. Much like a mafia, the group takes a cut from all of the commercial and humanitarian operations in the zone of its control. ISIS has been extremely creative in terms of the way that funded itself. This has led directly to the success it has witnessed in terms of recruiting and paying soldiers a fair amount of money. If there's any hope of defeating ISIS, their funds need to be attacked first.